Welcome to the video class series, dear students. Today we will continue with our history, chapter number 1, Rise of European Nationalism. The topic of our lesson is today hunger, hardship, and popular revolt. See, in the last video we saw, the last topic was about romanticism and nationalism. Okay, during that same time period, there were other issues also which were developing in Europe, like hunger, hardship, and popular revolt. So, increasing economic hardship Europe was facing during 1830s. So what type of hardships were they? Let us see one by one. Number 1, widespread unemployment. People were finding it difficult to get the job. Urban congestion. People were migrating from villages to city and there was congestion, overpopulation. Then competition from machine-made goods from England. England was selling its machine-made goods in other European markets. So all those who were till that time were selling the things made up of hand, they were finding hard to get the buyers of their things. So this was a type of hardship. Feudal dues in villages, lot of dues, karza. Feudal lords were demanding lot of karza from the people, the dues. Then rising food prices. Remember, crop failure was there. No proper rainfall, famine situation. The price of the food was skyrocketing. These things are called hardships. Okay, and see, next topic, popular revolt in France in 1848 resulted in Louis Philippe fleeing France, declared a republic with voting for all men above 21 and national workshop for more employment. So when entire Europe was facing such crisis during that time in 1848 in France, the people ultimately dethroned, removed Louis Philippe as their king, as their emperor. So Louis Philippe ran away from France. And this is how the National Assembly of France declared France as a republic, and it gave voting right to all men above 21. And of course, this National Assembly of France, it started working to create employment opportunities, opening lot of workshops. Now in Silesia, in 1845, weavers led a revolt against the contractor who was cheating them. Silesia, it is in France. So what was happening? The weavers, who are weavers? Those who make clothes. Okay, they revolted against their contractor. You know, contractor, they give a particular order or material so that things could be made. So the weavers revolted against their contractor because he was cheating on them. He was deceiving them. So what they did, they surrounded his house and demanded higher wages, getting only threats from him. Then they attacked his house and destroyed his goods. So this is one example how people started revolting against all those rich people, the feudal lords, the landlords, okay, the contractors, And this is how we find in France, when entire Europe, even France was also going through hunger, hardship, but it was also going through popular revolt. Okay, so here you can see a picture how the weavers are standing outside the house of that contractor, and ultimately they burned down his house also. Now, when all this thing was happening, what was happening in Germany, the neighboring country of France? Liberal revolution in Germany. Inspired by the events of February 1848 in France, we know what happened in 1848. Let's go back. See, in 1848, point number 3, you can see how Louis Philippe is removed from the monarchy and how France is declared republic. Okay, so in Germany also people were inspired by this February 1848 revolution in France. So liberal revolutionaries, we all know who are liberals. They are opposite of conservatives. Okay, they believe in democratic system. So liberal revolutionaries consisting of middle class educated professionals and merchants set up a German National Assembly. You know, they were inspired by National Assembly of France, because that assembly was also made up of middle class educated professionals and merchants. So in Germany also, middle class people, professional, they joined hand in hand and they made a general German National Assembly. So what they did in the month of May of 1848, a group of 831 elected representatives met together. Where did they meet? They meet in St. Paul Cathedral, St. Paul Church. Okay, so they met together and decided on a system of constitutional monarchy. So these 831 elected representatives, they met in a church called St. Paul Cathedral, and there they decided that our monarch will be now under the constitution. Means there will be parliament and monarch will work according to the direction of parliament. So King Frederick William IV of Prussia, he rejected their offer. He said, no, 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 no. How can I am a monarch? I am absolute. No one can be above me. All are below me, under me. So Frederick Wilhelm IV rejected the proposal given by the Constituent Assembly or the German National Assembly. Now, in that German National Assembly, there was some problem. What was that? The lower peasant class too protested at the lack of representation. So lower peasant class, normally 831 elected representatives were there. They all belonged to middle class, means they were businessmen, educated, but very few were from the lower peasant class to represent their problem. So what happened? When lower peasant middle class saw that their voice is not heard, so they walked out of that assembly. They said, we no more will be part of this German National Assembly. Now this led to a weakening of the liberal movement and the disbanding of the assembly. Okay, and King Frederick Wilhelm was waiting for this opportunity. Let this National Assembly be weakened. And there he saw that the lower peasant class, they have moved out of this assembly. So he called his soldiers and just sent them to arrest the rest of them. But ultimately what happened? People ran away. The whole assembly was disbanded. Here you can see the picture of Frankfurt Assembly of 1848. It is basically a church You can see on the balcony on the top, okay, people are there, but most of them, the people who were on the top, they were women or they were poor class people. The rest, the middle class people, they were made to sit at the ground floor. Have you noticed, my students, that whether conservative movement or liberal movement in Europe, what was the contribution of women? Were they given any political leverage or political rights? This is an important topic of this chapter, because sometime in board you may be asked to answer what was the contribution role of women during the time of nationalism in Europe. Remember, the issue of extending political rights to women was a controversial one within the liberal movement, in which large numbers of women had participated actively over the years. Okay, so in liberal movement we find the women were involved in national movement. Okay, women had formed their own political associations, founded newspapers, and taken part in political meetings and demonstrations. So whenever a question comes of gathering for meeting or participating in any type of strikes or demonstration, women were always allowed to come and join. Okay, that was the role women was having, and they even formed their own political associations, founded newspapers. Okay, but despite of this, they were denied voting rights during the election of assembly. Very sad. 831 representatives, not a single woman was there. So when Frankfurt Parliament convened in Church of St. Paul, women were admitted only as observers to stand in the visitors' gallery. As I told you, the balcony which was on the top, there women were allowed to sit and watch the whole meeting. They were not having any say or any type of decision making power. So role of women was there, but it was limited to only demonstration and strikes. But when it came to political rights, when it came to voting rights, or to take part actively, to take part in politics, to stand as representatives, that was not granted to the women. So this is a sad part of the liberal movement in Europe.